The haunting curse of Blackthorn Manor. The storm had rolled in earlier than expected, a thick shroud of black clouds smothering the sky as thunder growled in the distance. The group of friends, Lily, Marcus, Elena, and Aaron, had planned their weekend hike to avoid such weather, but they'd gotten lost in the dense forest. As the rain began to pour, they stumbled upon the gates of Blackthorn Manor. The manor loomed like a shadow from the past, its towering spires cutting into the storm-laden sky. The wrought iron gate, rusted and broken, seemed to sag under the weight of unseen years. Aaron pushed it open with a creak that echoed through the air. "We can't just wander in," Lily whispered, clutching the straps of her soaked backpack. "This place feels wrong." "It's shelter or hypothermia," Marcus replied, already trudging up the weed-choked path. What none of them knew was that Blackthorn Manor carried a legend, whispered through generations by the few who dared speak of it. No one who entered its walls ever left. Inside, the air was heavy with decay. The grand hall stretched before them, its once polished floors covered in grime, a grand chandelier above, hanging precariously by a single chain. A strange chill lingered despite the summer storm outside. "It smells like death," Elena muttered, brushing cobwebs from her hair. As they moved deeper into the house, the oppressive silence was broken only by the sound of their own footsteps and the occasional groan of the aging wood. But soon, faint whispers began to weave through the air. At first, they dismissed it as the wind, but the voices grew clearer, low and mournful. Blood was spilled. Vengeance must come. None shall escape. Lily stopped abruptly, her face pale. "Did you hear that?" No one answered. They had all heard it. In a locked room at the top of the manor, they found the source of the curse. A diary, brittle with age, lying on a table beside a dark stain on the floor. The room felt colder than the rest of the house, as though the walls themselves carried the weight of centuries-old pain. Marcus opened the diary, its pages crackling under his touch. The entries were written in an elegant but erratic hand, each one speaking of betrayal, love lost, and a slow descent into madness. The final entry stopped them cold. "They came for me in the night, dragging me from my bed as I screamed my innocence. My blood stains these floors, and my vengeance will stain theirs. Let none who trespass escape my pain." It was signed, Margaret Blackthorn, 1857. The stain on the floor darkened before their eyes, glistening like fresh blood. That night, the group decided to sleep in the manor. They had no choice. The storm outside had worsened, and the forest had become an impenetrable maze of rain and darkness. But as the hours dragged on, sleep eluded them. Elena was the first to see her, a woman in a torn gown, her face obscured by her long, matted hair, standing at the foot of the bed. Elena froze, unable to speak as the figure reached out a pale, blood-streaked hand. A scream ripped through the house as Elena fled into the hallway, waking the others. The ghostly figure was gone when they arrived, but Elena was inconsolable. "She's here," she whispered through chattering teeth. "She won't let us leave." Over the next day, the manor revealed its true horrors. Doors slammed shut on their own, separating the group. Shadows flickered at the edge of vision, whispering promises of death. The walls bled, the air thick with rot and sorrow. Worst of all, the way out was gone. Every attempt to leave led them back to the manor, no matter which door they used or window they climbed through. One by one, the group began to break under the weight of Margaret Blackthorn's curse. Aaron, ever the skeptic, tried to rationalize everything until he vanished into the library and never returned. The others found his journal hours later, his final entry scrawled in frantic, looping handwriting, "She's watching me. She's inside me." As the days stretched into nights, their numbers dwindled. Lily and Marcus became the last survivors, trapped in the grand hall where it all began. They huddled together, their breath visible in the unnaturally cold air. "She wants us dead," Marcus muttered, his voice hollow. "No," Lily whispered, staring at the shadowy figure now standing in the doorway. "She wants us to suffer." The last thing they heard was Margaret's voice, whispering softly yet filled with venom. None shall escape. When search parties came weeks later, they found Blackthorn Manor empty. The diary remained, but no trace of the group was ever discovered. Yet at night, travelers in the forest claim they hear faint whispers carried on the wind, beckoning them toward the cursed manor where vengeance still lingers.